What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Carissa. And today I am cooking barbacoa tacos. Tonight I'm going to be eating some barbacoa tacos, but today I'm actually preparing it and cooking it. And you know why I love this recipe? It's because it is so super simple. Okay, so super simple. It takes me less than 15 minutes to put everything together, and then it's just gonna sit in the oven low and slow, and then later in about 8 hours, all that meat's just gonna pull apart. It's gonna be so juicy. And then tonight, all I have to do is fry up my tortilla shells and make my tacos. Okay, so what you're gonna need for the barbacoa: chuck roast. Okay, I always go big because my husband absolutely loves leftovers. After this, he says my homemade tacos are literally better than food trucks, than restaurants. And he always says, he said, Carissa, if you ever want to make any extra money, you should start a food truck and cook up some Puerto Rican food along with your tacos. All right, so super simple. We are going to start right here. I have my Dutch oven, my favorite Dutch oven. Yes, I love my Dutch oven. I don't really cook anything in a crock pot because I never learned how to. I know it's going to be super easy and simple, but so is this. And I love my Dutch oven. All right. So in my Dutch oven, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil, avocado oil, or even coconut oil, whatever you have at home. I also have a pre-mixture of barbacoa seasoning. So this seasoning, you can tell we make tacos every single week. We do barbacoa a lot. So I went ahead and I always make up like giant batches and then I mark it so that everyone knows. I do this with my rib recipes and everything. So this is a combination of garlic salt, sea salt, onion powder, paprika, chili powder, cumin, coriander. If you guys want the full list, obviously, if you're going to cook this, check below because it's already mixed and I'm just trying to go off memory here. But you are going to want that. So, just save one of your old containers or put it in a Ziploc baggie, whatever you got to do. But save yourself time later on and have this already made up. Plus, you can like triple, quadruple, the recipe. I was trying to think of like the next word, but of course I was like, I didn't know. But anyways, okay. So we've got our chuck roast. This is about 2.5 pounds. Again, this is going to be plenty for us tonight. This gives about everyone 3 or 4 tacos, and we're talking street size tacos, guys. So we're not talking burritos or anything like that. But I love little mini street tacos. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm letting this oil get nice and hot. We are going to season the chuck roast, and then we're going to put it seasoned side down, and then we're going to season it again, and we are going to sear the shit out of this, okay? And searing just simply means high heat, get it nice and brown, and then we're going to add a little bit of beef broth to the Dutch oven, throw it in the oven, and boom, voila. In about 3 hours, I'm going to get all those good smells. In about 7 hours, I'm going to come in and I don't even have to pull it apart. It's just going to literally already be falling apart. Stay tuned. I'll definitely show you other videos of that. So, all right, here we go. It's getting pretty hot. So I am going to take the plastic off, and without getting another dish dirty, I'm just going to sprinkle heavily my barbacoa seasoning. Okay. Nice and seasoned. Okay. I'm going to put seasoned side down. I'm going to get a nice sear on that roast. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, nice coating of barbacoa. And you guys, it's all done, right? Like this is it, okay? Boom, like a boss. I'm going to let that sear. We're going to flip it here in a minute, and then we're going to throw it in the oven. So while that's searing, what goes great on barbacoa tacos, or any tacos in my opinion? Homemade pico de gallo. So today we are going to make a quick down and dirty pico de gallo. All right, so what you're going to want for that is I love Roma tomatoes, a red onion, cilantro. Normally I put a jalapeno in there, and the special ingredient, bam, Goya in your face. All right, I literally use this almost on everything. It's what I grew up with. Yes, I'm Puerto Rican, so we have tons and tons of adobo. I particularly like the Goya brand. Okay, I don't like any other adobo, so I really love Goya. But yeah, I use this in my Puerto Rican rice and beans. I use this literally in everything. Okay, all right. Here we go. So I've got my to-go container ready to go. I'm going to just pull this down so you guys can watch me chop. We're going to start with the tomatoes. Take off the edges. And I just simply slice. And yes, I make homemade salsa too, but I love fresh Pico de Gallo on top of tacos. It is so delicious. So I just sliced it. And now I slice it in the middle, and now I'm going to dice it, baby. Dice it. Dice those tomatoes. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, I'm going to do this times about 5 Roma tomatoes, okay? All right, guys, I just got done cutting up 5 Roma tomatoes. I also flipped my roast, and you can start to smell all those amazing seasonings. So now we're going to let this go for a couple more minutes. But while we do, we're, of course, going to cut up that red onion. Now, I have the little bit of red onion left from last night's dinner. You guys, I love onion. My husband will tell you that I literally sweat the smell of onion. So good or bad, depends on who you ask. I personally love onions, so I don't really care. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to cut up a half a red onion. I'm going to not just cut it up, I'm going to dice it just like my tomatoes. I'll be right back. All right, guys, it is time to add the basic beef broth. Now you could use bone broth, but you definitely want that beef flavor. So we're going to pour that in. I would say about a half a cup to a cup. Again, if you want the specifics, scroll down so that you can get everything. I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to put it in the oven. It's going to go for about 2. I forgot. Until I don't normally talk and cook at the same time. All right, it's going to go. These would help. Okay, so it's going to go in the oven for, 5 to 6 hours. You just have to smell it. That's the beautiful part about working from home is I can literally smell it all day. I'll come and check it around 1 o'clock, probably turn the dial down to about 150 and just let it finish until I am ready to pull it apart and eat it. All right, so I'm back cooking. Don't you love that? It's probably why I have hands of steel. Okay, so I'm just going to finish dicing up my onion. Okay, nice petite dices. It does not have to be perfect. Your Amber Rell, she would tell you, yes, it does, but it doesn't. We're not really cooking restaurant quality here, and I'm not in a restaurant. This is for my family. All right, tomatoes, red onion. I have hurry minced garlic. Okay, we're just going to, about that much, probably like a teaspoon, right? I love garlic just as much as I love onions. So I'm going to add that in there. We're going to get our cilantro. Now, I washed this yesterday, but if you're like, how the hell do you wash cilantro? You are just going to take it out of the bag once you buy it. This is a whole bunch, by the way, okay? And I'm going to literally run it under the water. I'm going to pat it dry, put it back in. Now, if I was not going to use this today, because I had to pick up this bunch yesterday, if I was not going to use it today, I would literally cut the stems a little bit, put it in a glass of water, keep this bag, put the bag over it, and voila, you have an herb saver. Okay, you don't need a fancy little thing from Pampered Chef to keep your herbs fresh, although I used to have one, so I'm not hating. Okay, but quickly think ahead. So I'm also going to make homemade guacamole for tonight, but I'm not going to make up, I'm not going to smash up my avocados quite yet. Between frying up the shells and getting my my guacamole ready tonight, but I am going to need cilantro chopped up. So I'm going to chop it all now. Okay. Which is why I also have a second container. I'm going to put everything that I need for homemade guacamole in here besides the avocado. That way later tonight, all I have to do is mash it up, add my seasoning, and boom, homemade fresh guacamole. So what we're going to do, it's been washed. We cut. Okay. Cut the stem off. We don't need the stems necessarily. The best way to chop up herbs like this is to get it in a tight little ball. Now we're going to start chopping, okay? Now, if you don't know how to cut or chop herbs, go back and watch like a basic video of like how to cut. But that's not what I'm teaching you here tonight. I just want to show you that Making homemade fresh pico is so much better than store-bought salsa. It's healthier, less preservatives, tastes fucking amazing. Your family's gonna never ever want to buy store-bought pico again. You'll either thank me later for that or hate me later for that. Okay, so see how I just keep putting it together and keep chopping it? I'm not making a mess. When I first taught my husband how to do this, he had this shit everywhere. So it takes practice, okay? All right, here we go. Remember, we only want half for the pico. The other half we'll save. Whoop, whoop. All right. Here we go. So it's looking good, right? We're getting nice Christmassy colors. All right, here we go. We're going to add some lime juice. Now, if I had a fresh lime, I would totally throw that in there instead, because fresh lime is going to always be better than this stuff. However, I don't have any because last night I made chicken rice quinoa bowl type Mexican delicious stuff and I used all my lime. All right, capful goes in. To be perfectly honest, you guys, we're going to probably want 2. The beautiful part about cooking is that you can always add. You can never take back. So don't over season, don't over salt. Like you can always add more. All right, so with that, I'm going to take my secret ingredient, the Goya, and we're going to sprinkle that in. I'm going to grab, I'm going to mix this up. Now, again, if I had, the only other ingredient that I wish I had still is the jalapeno, but I wasn't thinking, and my husband used all the jalapeno for his food prep this week. He literally used 6 jalapenos in his chicken. Crazy. Okay, so, of course, the best part about cooking is the taste test. Yep. You guys have been making this long enough. I know exactly what I'm doing here, but all right, fresh Pico de Gallo. Let that sit, because as it sits and all the flavors get together and like have a party in this container for the next 5 hours, we don't want to oversalt it because later on, all those flavors are going to come together and it's not probably going to taste like this. It's going to be a little bit more saltier, a little bit that cilantro, the onion, the lime, everything's going to pull together. It's going to taste delicious. All right, guys, fresh homemade pico. Amazing, pull apart, melt in your mouth, barbacoa taco meat, right, for later. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish chopping up a little bit of red onion for my homemade guacamole. And boom, we're going to be done. We're going to be out of here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. If you have questions, reach out to me. I personally answer all of my DMs, not my assistant, not anyone else cool, just me. So you get me, which is a health wellness coach who loves helping women boss up and get healthy. And more importantly, stay healthy. You guys stay thriving.